This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
If you look at the major presidential candidates over the last 30 or 40 years, and that includes people like, remember, Michael Dukakis and Walter Mondale and Hillary Clinton and John Kerry, I have to say that I think Kamala Harris is the most anti-business presidential candidate in your and my lifetime. I mean, this woman has endorsed one policy after another that would be absolutely ruinous to our economy. As you mentioned, doubling the capital gains tax, taxing unrealized capital gains. The one thing you left out, Sean, is don't forget, she is on record as being against modern oil and gas drilling. She calls fracking. 75% of our energy today comes from fracking and horizontal drilling. I don't even think this lady even knows what fracking is.
Especially in the tech sector, you have people sitting on large, long-standing embedded capital gains. And so for people to understand what this means, it means you have to pay taxes on sales that you have not yet made. And even forget the stock market and think about even everyday Americans across this country. That means that if you're a farmer or if you're a small business owner, you will owe taxes with cash you literally do not have in your pocket to pay those taxes. That is a formula for a second Great Depression. And it is something that's been in the bloodstream of Democratic policy for a long time. Go back to Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders' plans of a wealth tax, even in the 2020 primary. I think this idea is here to stay for the Democrats. That's a big one. I think Tim Walz's selection as vice president says a lot. That's the first real presidential style decision we've seen Kamala Harris have to make. She went with somebody who at the state level has favored increasing taxes on capital gains. In that case, it was unrealized, but they have talked about unrealized gains and taxing them. And I do worry about that, what that means, not just for the stock market, but for everyday Americans across the country.
The stock market, if there's not 60 votes for that in the Senate, the stock market doesn't have to price it.
Yes, 60 votes, or if you agree. I respectfully disagree with one aspect of that, because Kamala Harris has been the chief proponent of ending the filibuster to ram through her policy objectives. Yeah. And so if she's the president of the United States, and in my view, God forbid, a Democratic Senate to aid her, that could be 51 votes. And could you get to 51 votes on a major change in tax policy like that? I think the answer is absolutely yes. I think that's conceivable. And so for a lot of business leaders across the country, one of the questions they might want to ask is which is going to be the administration that's more friendly to business? Well, we don't know where she stands on tariffs. We don't know where she stands on a lot of other questions. But on tax policy alone, the idea of not just raising tax rates, but raising tax rates and applying taxes on unrealized income, that is a catastrophe of epic proportion.
Boys and girls, this might be the most important video I've ever made on this channel. You may want to have me push hold so you can go get a pencil and a paper, because we're going to get down tonight. We got some stuff to talk about. This is the kind of stuff that's going to affect most of you in a huge, huge way. Absolutely huge way. I can't even fathom what Kamala Harris is even thinking. She now has the collective world who have brains going against her. Elon Musk, RFK Jr., the stars are aligning for a huge Trump landslide. And it's of her own inflicted wounds, self-inflicted wounds. She's doing this, or whoever her handlers are doing this to her, thankfully. I know many times I've said to you that I believe it's going to be a landslide. I continue to hold that feeling. And as things begin to evolve even more, I become more certain of it. But we don't know to what level they're going to cheat, what level they're going to try and destroy the country before the election or in the period thereafter, before Trump would take office. This is a video you're going to want to share to a lot of friends if you don't even know what I'm talking about. In fact, I'm going to get right to it right now. Thank you all for tuning in, but this is important. That's it. That's what you're faced with. You are faced with voting for Trump and getting him in, or communism. That's it. There are no other choices. There are no other variables. That's it. Anybody who tells you otherwise, your church, your family, your friends, your coworkers, that's it. They're nincompoops if they don't understand what's about to happen. Now, over the last couple of days, I've told you about some of her proposals and how wacky they are. You know, giving away $25,000 to anybody who wants to buy a house, which will never happen, including newcomers. Price fixing of food. Unbelievable. Every single day there's something else. Raising the corporate tax rate to 28%. And then today, she completely blew the lid off of it. It is no race anymore. Every single poll from here on out, if they don't have Trump winning big, they're lying to you. I'm going to say that right now. If they don't have Trump winning big, they're lying to you, or, God forbid, half the country has been irrevocably brainwashed. They have decided that they hate Trump so much they will vote against the best interest of themselves, their families, and their grandchildren. There's no other explanation. That's it. That's the basically the options you're looking at. Trump or communism. Nothing in between. Anyone you see running around the street wearing a Kamala shirt, they're idiots. They're functionally illiterate. And they have no idea. Barry, why are you feeling so strong about this? Well, my friends, you're about to get a lesson. Today, Kamala has said that she wants a 45% capital gains tax, which is similar to what Dementia Joe said. But in addition, she wants a 25% tax on unrealized capital gains. You're reading that correctly. And it's not for wealthy individuals, because just like with fair share, they can't define the word wealthy. But I'm going to define it for you very, very succinctly so you can understand. This woman wants to bankrupt America, and she doesn't care how it happens. Right now, even many of you who say you don't have a lot of money on hand, yeah, you might want to start saving what you do have and making some arrangements. And I mean like today, just in case something funky happens. And there's some funky things happening in the world and in the United States right now, which we're going to go through. It's unbelievable. A 44.6% capital gains tax. How can anyone build wealth in America? I can't answer that question. Can't answer that question. Even Alex Jones, breaking update. RFK set to join Trump campaign, ensuring victory over the Democrats in November. Sources say Kennedy's be considered for Attorney General. As I said, the forces are now beginning to align. People who normally wouldn't be coming together are looking at this insanity of what this campaign is doing, what this candidate is doing, and they're like, there's no effing way. We got to do what we got to do. We'll argue later. We'll fight over some other things, but right now we need to get this woman kneecapped. We need to stop this in the bud. We understand. We can see the blinking lights are going off. This is communism steaming forward at your face. There is no other definition for what she is doing. Want some more proof? Let me go ahead and show you this because, oh my God. This is the gold price today. And this is the 1-year chart of gold. And as you can see from looking at this 1-year chart, we've just reached a new career historic high in gold. We'll talk more about that later when I talk to you about Lear Capital. But right now I want to show this to you. Gold is up $575 per ounce. Ladies, you got some earrings laying around made of gold? You're making some money. It went up 30% over the course of the year, and it keeps moving between 30 and 32%. I'm sorry, I said 575. That's over the year. 32% to 29%. It's fluctuating right in there. And the reason why it's doing that is because of the insanity, the absolute insanity of what Kamala Harris is out there talking about. This is absolutely nuts. All right, so I want you to just take a step back, Barry, breathe. Kamala's policy so far, she's proposed a 28% corporate tax, a 44.6% capital gains tax, and a 25% tax on unrealized capital gains. The scare you get? Do you realize what we're looking at this point with all these taxes she's throwing on to the fire here? Let me explain to you, in case there's some of you who really don't know what capital gains tax is and how it affects you, because you really do need to know this. Excuse me. So, I'm going to dig in the weeds here and start showing you what it means. Taxing unrealized gains. I mean, you don't have it unrealized. It's not in your pocket. It's not in the bank. We're going to tax unrealized gains. We're going to impute your gain and then tax it accordingly. Would mean Americans would owe taxes on the appreciation of their home every year. But Barry, if my home goes up, I don't have that money unless I sell. Tough shit. Sorry my language. Pay me. What? Pay me. You know those 87,000 IRS agents she just put together? They don't care. Sell your home. Do what you need to do. You owe me. That's what an unrealized capital gain means. You don't have the money, but we can see you made some money. You know, you made some equity, and you're going to pay me. Let that sink in. Let that really, really sink in. This would bankrupt the average family. Just imagine you only bought a $200,000 house. You skated and you got a $200,000 house. And then it's gone up to even a modest gain. Let's say that house you bought for $200 3 years ago is now worth $240. But you're still living in it. You haven't sold it. You still owe a mortgage on it. But you got a $40,000 equity cushion. The government's saying, hey, you made some money. But I didn't put anything in my pocket. I didn't ask you about that. What I said was you made some money. You got some capital, unrealized capital gains. You haven't realized it, but you made it. So you know what? Now you owe me 25% of that 40 grand bump. So if your house went up by 40,000, guess what? Next year you need to write a check for $10,000. You understand how that math worked? So in your little corner of the world, wherever you're living right now, you can say to yourself, hey, I bought this house for X. Oh, the market in the housing kind of went up. It's worth Y. My mortgage is Z. So if I take my mortgage away from what it's worth, that's what that's, boys and girls, is called unrealized capital gains. Let me slow it down again for you. You bought a house for $200. I'm going to use easy math. You bought a house for $200. It is now worth $300. You have a mortgage of $180 because you paid your bills, meaning you have $120,000 of equity. You know, money that you paid into for your family. You got $120,000 in equity? Hey, Richie Rich, cut me a check. What? Yeah, cut me a check for, 30 grand. Because I need 25% of that 120. 120, 12 and 12 is 24, and then, 1% on top of that, 20, pay me 25 grand right now. I'll give you till April, but you're going to have to pay me 25 grand. Well, what happens if the price goes down? We'll adjust it. But what happens if I paid you in April 25 grand, and then like in June, the value of the neighborhood goes down? Do I get it back? Yeah, we'll work on that. But as of right now, cut me a check. Well, where am I going to get the money from? I don't have $25,000 sitting in my account. I'm sorry. We're going to have to foreclose on you. We're the IRS. You owe us money. We're going to foreclose on you. This is going to bankrupt the average family. Average. I'm not talking if you own $1 million property or $5 million or anything else. You have equity. And they haven't defined what that level is yet. You know, that whole thing with the fair share. Am I scaring you? I hope so. I hope so. I hope it slaps some sense into your face if you were on the fence about voting for Donald Trump. Because this, across the country, is going to cause a foreclosure crash like you've never seen. Guys like me, yeah, we're going to make a ton of money. People are going to be calling me left and right. Hey, can you buy this? Can you buy that? Can you buy this? Oh yeah, I can buy it. Remember, here's what's going to happen. That house that mythical house I just talked about, that you owe 180 on, but it's worth 300, but you owe the government now 25 grand that you can't pay. Well, you know what? I'll buy that house for 190. I'll give you 10 grand to find some place to live, but now I own it for 190. Well, Barry, aren't you going to have to pay the capital gains tax on it? Sure. I don't have a problem paying an extra 25 grand on a house that's now worth 300 because I'm going to make it. Well, that sounds just so vulturish. Well, that's the nature of the game. That's what she's doing. Just imagine she's doing this on a large scale so that BlackRock can do the exact same thing. They can come swoop in. Hey, I got this notice from the IRS says you owe 25 grand. You got to get out of this house. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you 185. Here's 5 grand for moving out. Give us the deed. Have my attorneys draw up the papers. You go ahead and move out in like 2 weeks. And this is our house now. See how this is going to work? How do I know it's going to work? Because it's the exact same thing that happened in 2008. I'm not making it up. I know history. It's exactly how me and a bunch of other people I know made a crap load of money because we were able to step in because people were in a position where they had no choice. At that point, you've got one opportunity. You got the 25 grand for the for the government. Nope. You got to sell. That's it. No other choice. Go to your job, see if they'll give you a loan. Go to the bank and see if you can get a loan. Oops, that's going to be really hard because you have a tax lien on your house. And the bank's going to I can't lend you any money. You got a tax lien on your house. Oh, here's what I could do though. I could lend you $40,000. You could pay off the bank the 25 you owe, and now you're going to have a mortgage of, instead of 180, you'd have a mortgage of 220. Oh, and by the way, that new mortgage is at 7%, which is probably going to double your mortgage. Oh, and by the way, now that your valuation has gone up, your taxes are going to go up too, your property taxes. We're screwed. Most of the average Americans are absolutely screwed if this happens. And she didn't make a statement. Just another issuance on social media and through the media. That's it. Yeah. Well, let's see how they like this one. And then the markets blew up, and it just got really bad very quickly. Again, history, understanding what has happened before. Has anyone told her how taxing unrealized gain worked out for Norway? Norway expected an additional 150 million in annual tax revenue, small country, but caused 54 billion in wealth to flee the country, costing them actually 600 million in annual tax revenue. People with money aren't going to allow you to steal their money. Bye. I'm heading over here, selling it all, gone. They're just going to take off. What do you think I do? I'd be broadcasting from the Bahamas or something. I've got dual citizenship in Jamaica because my dad was born there. Hey, how you doing, man? Hi, man. Yes, Barry, man. Yes, Irie. You're not going back to America? No, man. Nah, me not going back, man. Nah, not going happen. Them crazy, man. Them crazy up there. Yeah, I come Jamaican very quickly. Well, Barry, that's unpatriotic. Oh, is it? I told you yesterday about the difference between evading taxes and avoiding taxes. I hope you took notice. I did not know this was coming because now that video that you may need to go back to is the difference between what you're seeing now and what's going to happen if she gets elected. If you don't know how to avoid taxes, you're done for. I mean, absolutely done for. Well, Barry, I don't have a house. I just have some money in the bank. How much? What's your 401k? You're still renting? Okay. What's your 401k? Is it going up? We are in uncharted, dangerous waters at this moment. Here's what Elon Musk had to say. He read through that tweet I showed you about her policies, and he goes, "This path leads to bread lines and ugly shoes." Oh, he has a way with words. Bread lines and ugly shoes. You can only joke about it because it's that absurd. It is completely absurd. And this is it's not going to hurt Elon. It's not going to hurt Trump. It's going to hurt you. It's actually going to basically destroy the middle class. The middle class isn't ready for this. They're not seeing it coming, and they're completely screwed. Nobody has taught people how to do this stuff, how to make sure you're not liable for an unrealized capital gain. Nobody had even ventured to think, they're going to tax me on money I don't even have in my hand or in my bank account? Yep, just because of what you owe. I mean, what your equity is. Saw this today from Geiger Capital. Kamala Harris just endorsed Biden's capital gains tax proposal for her campaign. 45% long-term capital gains tax, by far the highest in history. Combined with state taxes, many states will be well over 50%, another insane policy. You're starting to see what I'm talking about here. You're starting to see how people who've got brains and sense are looking at this and saying, this makes absolutely no sense why you would do this to people. We know why you need to, because all these things you want to give away, student loans and free this and free that, and you don't have the money for it. So you're going to basically use the power of the government to take it from good Americans. Americans who have paid their bills, Americans who have retired, paid in a system for so long, and you're basically saying, oops, sorry, you trusted us. You trusted the United States government. That's your mistake. 25% tax on unrealized gains. If we lived in a sane world, this would end communism's entire campaign. Understand, every single one of these people in the media who are covering the DNC tonight, every single one of them, are probably making in excess of 150 to 250 at minimum. Then you get the guys like Jake Tapper, Dana Bash, Dana Perino, Brett Baer, name one of the famous ones, and they're making $10, $15 million a year. And they're not saying anything about this. They're not talking to people and saying, hey, this is really bad. Why are they not talking about it? Why is every Republican senator and congressperson not screaming right now? Why are they letting this happen? Why are they letting the people that you voted for in your area of the country and not screaming and going, you can't do this? Nope, you don't see it. Nope, they're pretty quiet. They're pretty quiet. Maybe they're quiet because they know she needs 60 votes to get it passed if she was the president. And they're thinking, this will never fly. It's dead on arrival. She's never going to get 60 votes. Never going to happen. There's no way in hell she'd ever get 60 votes to pass this. But what if she didn't need 60? What if she was able, through the Senate, to basically break the filibuster, which she has said she will do? And that should make people's panties just cringe up. Because now if you don't need 60 to pass it, and you only need 51, now you're talking a whole different ballgame. I only need 51 votes to pass this thing to grab your money. I don't need the 60. I just need the 50. You see how precarious a position we're in at this point? This is a doomsday style scenario. And I know some of you may be thinking, well, Barry, you got to be exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. Here, look what Mike Cernovich says. Understand, if you own a house, subtract what you paid from it from the Zillow estimate. Be prepared to pay that 25% of that in a check to the IRS. That's your unrealized capital gains tax owed under the Kamala Harris proposal. Every single one of you right now could go on to Zillow and look for a Zestimate. It's not an estimate, Mike. It's a Zestimate. You can do it on Redfin as well. And put in your address, put in your neighbor's address. It's going to tell you what the house is worth. Estimate, Zestimate. Some of them are a little high, some a little low. But you're going to get an idea of what your house is actually worth. Zillow, Zestimate. When you see that number, whatever Zillow has on that number as your Zestimate, deduct your mortgage amount. $400, I owe $250. You have $150,000 of unrealized income. Be prepared to write a check for 25% of that unrealized income to the government. I haven't checked the chat yet to see. Oh boy, we had the American Revolution due to taxes. Hang on to your hat. Yeah, it's about to get squirrelier than you even know, because they're already thinking about that as well. I'm going to show you. People don't touch their property. Do not pay those taxes. Well, I can tell you the foreclosure process with the IRS, depending on your state, can take a long time. If you got slapped, assuming she got elected, God forbid, or installed, and assuming they came knocking on your door sometime in 2025, you're probably looking at about 8 to 9 months before they could even take your house. However, in that period of time, your debt's going to grow, because they'll put on interest, because, hey, you owe me 25 grand, you can't pay me. Okay, now we're going to start charging you interest. And it's just going to keep growing and growing. So if you could hire an attorney and fight it, but then you got to come up with the money to hire the attorney. This is going to get unbelievably nasty. Unbelievably nasty. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, God help us, this nation and other nations. I didn't know, I was telling you guys earlier, those who were here for my earlier show, and I was saying I'm working on something, and something's starting to show me that we need to be talking about this. And then it happened. Ain't going nowhere. Miami-Dade is my home, and we'll never let commies take over this area. I'm with you, bro. And that's what it's going to take. That's literally what it's going to take. You know they've built their army. You know they got the money to put 87,000 new IRS agents on the street. You know they have all the computer systems. You know, that's right, because they had a breach with all the Social Security numbers. Everybody's Social Security number in the country got breached. Did you hear about that? Hopefully. So they got everything. They got all the information. They got every algorithm to run and let the computers and AI go ahead and find those houses with the most equity. Oh, that one only has 5. We'll let that one simmer for a little while. This guy over here's got 50 grand in equity. Oh, this one's got 200 in equity. Let's go pay them a visit. It's going to get really bad. Texas will secede first. Yeah, it's going to happen. It could get there if the right people. I plead the second. That's. They got them too, though. Remember, these 87,000 IRS agents are going to be armed. This may be 1776 all over again. And I don't think they care. I don't think they even think to their mind that this is going to be a problem. They're going to expect you to submit or die. Because there's no way you would want to institute this nationally and have good people who have lived good lives and have done everything correct and walk into them and basically steal money out of their pockets, steal money from their kids' mouths, their grandkids' education. What kind of diabolical nut job wants to do this to America? it's unbelievable. Yeah, I would lose everything. There are a lot of people who are going to wake up to this and start finding out, because it kind of bubbled up today. That's how I knew about it. And I'm like, I got to tell people about this, because because I'm sure some people are like, nah, this can't be true. No, it's true. Go to Google, put unrealized capital gains. Go on X, unrealized capital gains. It's spreading like wildfire and people are freaking. And Kamala just doesn't say anything, doesn't go to the press, doesn't do anything. La 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 la. I mean, this is a debate winner. Trump, excuse me, hey Jake, I know you asked me a question about the climate. Forget that. Is she really talking about taking 25% unrealized capital gains? Can she confirm that to me right now? Jake, are you for that? Because Kamala, we understand you and your husband are worth, $10, $12 million yourselves, and you also have a bunch of different real estate holdings. Are you prepared to give up 25% of your income? I mean, no, that's not even your income. That's the other part. You still got the other 44%. Oh, and then you got the other taxes as well. Taxes. Income, capital gains, unrealized capital gains, sales tax, state income tax, tax. Pretty much you'll just be working for the government. That's it. Just give me 50, 60, 70, 80% of your money, which is what she said at the beginning. And everybody's like, oh, Barry, that's crazy. Add it up. Add it up, what it would cost you where you particularly live. Florida, we don't have a state income tax, so we'd be okay there. But we do pay 6% sales tax. So if you're paying 25 to 30% on your regular income tax, then you got to pay 44.6% on your capital gains of stuff that you actually realize. Then you got to pay 25% on stuff that you haven't realized, and then you got to add your real estate taxes. It's tiring just thinking about it. Tax. But the newcomers, they don't own anything. They don't have any, capital gains. They don't got gains. What about them? Oh, that's where your capital gains money is going. We got to let them catch up. Not making it up. You can go check it. You can go look. Would that also classify for muscle cars that have been restored? If there's equity, if you bought the car at a junkyard for, $1,000, and then you spent, $5,000 fixing it up, and so you're now into it for $6,000, but that beautiful Mustang is now worth $50,000, guess what? That's unrealized capital gains. It's not just for houses. Houses I use because that's the big number, but you just brought up something else, a different collection. Yeah, I bought this Mustang for $1,000 in a junkyard. Oh, that's awesome. What'd you put into it? Well, I put, 5 or 10 into it, cleaned it up, got it spruced, got new tires, did everything to it. So you're into it for about 10, 12 grand. Yeah. So if you were to sell that, what is it worth? I think right now a 64 Mustang GTO, blah, 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 is going to be worth about 50, 60 grand. Okay. So you're into it for 12. It's worth 60. You got a $48,000 equity. 25%. What's that? 48 and 48, 96. A little bit over 10 grand. Pay me. That's how it works. It's going to bankrupt America. Absolutely. True globalist. Yeah. Here's another one. The IRS can take over your bank accounts, checking and savings. They will freeze them. You can't even do anything unless you prepare in advance and do some stuff. This is why they want to know all about your crypto, and this is why they want to go into central bank digital currency. This is why she's doing all this. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your coworkers, tell your family, tell everybody. This is what's coming, because they won't believe it. They just can't believe it. It's too much. Tim Pool says, the housing market will inflate. Well, it's going to unnaturally inflate. Correct. You'll be told your assessment now is $500,000. But you can't sell because you can't buy another one to pay off what you owe. You'll then be charged $60,000 unrealized gains, but you don't have it. you'll sell at a loss to cover the tax liability and downsize. Rinse and repeat over and over again. Saw it in 2008. People couldn't afford. Wait, I don't know if you remember back in 2008, people were buying these junk bonds and junk mortgages that you could get into it for 2%. And then it would adjust, these adjustable mortgages, and it would go up to 5 or 6%. And their payments would double, but their income hasn't doubled, and they're stuck on a house that they bought where the mortgage payment was $1,500, now it was $3,500, and they're like, what do we do? Sell it at a loss, take your spanking, go move into an apartment. You'll own nothing and be happy. This is the forcing of that globalist WFBS. You'll own nothing and be happy. How would I own nothing? Because BlackRock and other investors, like me, are going to buy your stuff at a discount, a fire sale, a true fire sale. If she gets in, it is going to be Vulture City. It's going to be like Games of Thrones. Dragons are going to be flying around saying, I want, there's a house I can eat up. I make light of it because it's already happened. We know it's happened. It's not even something that we can wonder if anymore. The only if here is if we can keep her out of the White House. And I do mean if, because there are stupid enough people who would vote. Turn on the TV in about 20 minutes and you're going to see an arena filled with idiots. 10, 15,000 people. Yeah. And excuse me, are you prepared to pay 25% unrealized tax? You going to do it? Huh? Why are you here? This woman wants to tax your unrealized capital gains. She wants to take 25, 44, blah, 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 keep going. And this is only August. And every single day she's reaching deeper and deeper into your pocket. Who knows what she'd come up with by the time it gets to November? Maybe you're going to have to pay to work. You got a job, you're going to have to, you have a job tax. Am I being facetious? Yes. Is it out of the question? No. Once you get into communism, you cannot vote your way out of it. She's not lying. She's telling us up front, months in advance. And I don't understand why people aren't running through the streets screaming. I'm going to give $25,000 to anybody, including newcomers. Let me say it again. Next, I'm going to basically cap the food price on your food, and people are going to go crazy. Grocery companies ain't going to be able to eat. Next, we're going to raise the corporate tax rate to 28%. Next, we're going to raise capital gains to 44.6%. Next, we're going to charge 25% on unrealized capital gains. And it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday in August, and all those things she just outlined have happened in the last few days. And you're wondering, is she serious? Whether or not you believe the poll numbers aren't saying that she's tanked. It hasn't gone to zero. How can she possibly still be in this race? How can people be in this arena tonight? Ask yourself this. What has happened to the American public where they are so blinded in their hate for Trump and hate for this country that they willingly submit themselves to this? I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. How bad are they bungling things up? I'm going to tell you how bad they're bungling things up. You know when they come out with these job reports and they're like, oh, the economy, the unemployment level is down and everything. You believe that? Because that's as bad as the polls. They're fudging everything. Everything the government tells you right now is a complete flippin' lie. How do I know that? Wait till you see this one. Breaking news. The Fed is revising their jobs report down by 1 million jobs. Oops. We had a clerical error and we put 1 million jobs too many into the formula. We've been basically gigging the numbers while you were not looking. while you were waiting for Dementia Joe to be the president, and now you want Kamala to be the president, and this is going to be the biggest downward revision in 15 years. You fudged the numbers. Fake jobs, a fake inflation, a fake GDP. We are basically going to be bankrupt. People are like, oh, we're approaching recession. Approaching recession? That's like standing in when Katrina was like, I think it's going to rain. Oh, it's cloudy over there. Think we should take cover? Nah, it won't be for a while till the hard, big, heavy stuff hits. It's hitting. You're in the middle of a cyclone, and people are walking around like it's no big deal. And they wonder why other people, like myself, are trying to ring the bell and let you know, hey, blinking red, it's in big trouble. They fudged the flipping job numbers. Not by a little, by 1 million. How do you make a 1 million job mistake? Same way you lose $2 trillion in the defense budget. Same way you accidentally send this other country overseas 81 billion. How does it keep happening? Because Americans are stupid. Because Americans keep thinking their government is telling them the truth. They won't lie. They won't do this. They won't do that. I bet you Joe Biden thought he was going to be a Democrat nominee for president. He got every single vote. I bet the people who voted for him thought he was going to be the Democrat nominee. They wouldn't possibly do something like so undemocratic as to boot him to the curb, would they? Yeah, I think you know the answer to that at this point. Try to find out the stuff they're not lying about. Try to find out the stuff that the media is not pulling the wool over your eyes. Every single day. Tonight's going to be no bigger. I saw someone make a quote today. There are 3 things that are basically above everything else. This was from Yamiche Alcindor, who's with MSNBC. She said, God, HBCUs, and Barack Obama. And Barack Obama will be here tonight. You put Barack Obama in the same category as God? That's your media? God help us. Pray. And as you're praying, you really, really need to think, if you can, get yourself in a position to begin protecting yourself. I understand we all believe, we all want and need Trump to win. But you can't wait. You can't wait until November before you start making your plans. You can't, just like we down here in South Florida, when we hear there's a hurricane and the track says we got a Cat 4 and it's heading for Boca Raton, you can't wait until the day before it hits land. Honey, maybe should we board up the windows? I don't know. Let's take a shot. Let's take a gamble that this thing's not going to come aground in Boca, even though the path shows it hitting East Boca. The hurricane's coming. It's out there swirling. Its name is Kamala, and it's headed right for you. You can't dodge it. You can only make sure you're protected if it comes. If you have to bottle up some food, if you have to store some water, make sure you got gas for the car. All the different things we do when a hurricane's coming. You got a hurricane right off the coast right now. It's 3, 4, 5 months away. Don't wait until November. It'll be too late. The shelves will be empty. Start now. Do whatever you need to do. Call these guys at Lear Capital. You know that inflation is still on the rise all across America, and our dollar is being devalued more and more every single day by the Federal Reserve and their massive money printing schemes. So you have to ask yourself, are my investments really safe? I doubt it. Listen to this. Government debt is growing at the rate of $1 trillion every 100 days. Since 2020, every dollar in your wallet has lost 24% of its purchasing power. And in just the last 18 months, what you need to survive as a family, your groceries, your necessities, have gone up by $11,000 per family. These are unsustainable and outrageous numbers. That's why I'm recommending that you call my friends at Lear Capital. They'll show you how easy it is to move some of your assets into gold and silver. You know, assets that are growing in value instead of keeping them in a dollar, which is declining in value. And as we approach the election, and with all the volatility in the world, now is the time to take some action. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. When you go to Lear, you'll be able to download a de-dollarization guide. It will show you specifically how your dollar is deflating every single year. There's no obligation, it's just free information. You'll learn how to protect your hard-earned money with gold and silver. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase guarantee. Call Lear at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you give them a call, ask how you can get $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. Okay, you know, I get a comment here, and it's what I thought I would see. So thanks, Barry, for the depressing news. Actually, it's not depressing. I'm not going to leave you hanging like that before I sign off. But what I want to do is make you aware. That's what the idea for this show was, to let you know, in case you hadn't heard, the severity of what we're facing. That's the only thing I can tell you right now. The good news is, yeah, hopefully Trump can do this and they won't try anything stupid. Maybe. We'll see. Revolution time if Kamala cheats her way in. Remember those stories when Dementia Joe was saying, well, they don't have revolution. Yeah, you don't have F-15s. He actually said that, and we all kind of just laughed along with it. Southsec says it's unavoidable. There's no way they're going to let DJT back in the White House. They will stop at nothing. Everybody prepare yourself. I am getting residency and dual citizenship in 2 countries. Makes a lot of sense, because what I'm going to show you now, if you weren't depressed before, now might be the depressing stuff. What I'm about to show you right now, it is actually the most, even more depressing. You ready for it? Okay, let me just show you this one. Breaking news. The United States bankruptcy filings are at the highest level since 2017. You can't make this shit up. As somebody said earlier, in a normal world, this woman wouldn't even be getting 1% in any poll. It would be laughable. The arena tonight would be empty. Bankruptcy filings are at its high since 2017. People can't afford stuff now and have decided, you know what, I'm going to have to file bankruptcy, which is something you can do if they come for your house. That's another thing altogether. But so put all this together, compound all this, all the taxing thing that she wants to do. She's rolling out by the day, letting you know she's not lying. Nobody can say in November, oh, she didn't tell us this. She lied. She scammed her way in. Nope, they put her in. They're pushing her. The media's being her lapdog. And she's coming out with a different proposal every single day. Not talking about it, but letting you know. I'm going to give 25 grand away to the newcomers and everybody else who wants a house. Where's it coming from? Wherever. It's too funny. I'm going to raise capital gains. I'm going to raise blah, blah, blah. Every single day. She's telling you. Don't be surprised. And now you find out that the bankruptcy filings in the United States are at the highest level in 2017. In fact, some of you in here may have had to file for bankruptcy. Never would I ever single anybody out and say, hey, anybody else file for bankruptcy in there? No. I'm just telling you, shit's on fire. I mean, literally, great picture. Shit's on fire in this country. And we have a press. We have a media that's covering it up completely. 1 million fake jobs, all kinds of new taxes, highest bankruptcy since 2017. And we're watching a convention tonight with 10, 12,000 barking sheep in there, clapping happily. Joy, it's joy. And I'm thinking to myself, don't be them. Don't be them. Because it's next thing I'm going to show you is even worse than the stuff I've told you thus far. Imagine that. Imagine what I'm about to show you is worse than all those taxes, worse than the highest level of bankruptcy since 2017, worse than 1 million fake jobs being pushed out into the economy and pretending like the economy's fine, worse than all of that. This is the one where, at this point, bend over and kiss it goodbye. Because I don't know what this guy has planned. He's still president. He got no marbles. But this is the scariest thing I've probably read, and I'm going to show you, in my entire time on this planet. Biden secretly orders United States to prepare for nuclear threats from China, Russia, and North Korea. No words. No words. I have grandkids. You have grandkids. This is something we have never, ever, most of us have never seen in our lives. Yeah, we did. We used to have the air raid drills when we were in grade school, and we'd get under the desk and wonder if the big one was coming. And then there was the Cold War, and then there was like, ooh, Russia, 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 ooh. And now our president has given the warning to prepare for a nuclear threat from China, Russia, and North Korea. Sir? Yeah. Mr. President, even though you're demented, sir, how do you prepare for nuclear war? How do you do anything? This isn't a hurricane. It's not a tornado. It's not a snowstorm. How the F are we supposed to prepare for nuclear war? Please, somebody, anybody in any of the chat want to tell me how we prepare for nuclear war? That's what you want to drop on the American people? On top of all the other great news we've talked tonight? Now and this happened at 6 p.m. tonight, right before I went on. 6 p.m. tonight. Yeah, y'all, looking bad. You might want to prepare for nuclear war at this point. Yet, I have no idea how to tell you to prepare. Because depending on where the thing hits, poof, poof. I know we're gone. We're right down here by Miami, and that's a big financial district. I mean, unless y'all gonna want to move to like Montana, go way off the grid. Tell me how I prepare for nuclear war. Tell me how any of us are supposed to prepare for Armageddon. We're not talking about a missile attack. We're not talking about anything like that. Vaccines. No, not talking about any of that. We're talking about friggin' nuclear war. Tell the American people, get your sorry ass back into the office. How do you release a press release about that? How are you not on television at 8 p.m. going, my fellow Americans, the time is upon you to prepare for nuclear war. And then see everybody go, ah! How's that in an article in the newspaper? Hey guys, China, North Korea, and Russia might just blow us up. Just let you know. I'm off to California to a beach, okay? Do I think that's true? I don't know. The government said it. But here's the thing more likely. What if this information hit the breaking news? What if this came out because that's the poison pill? What if that's like, Kamala sucks really bad and she's not going to get elected? So maybe there'd be a way for us to stop the elections from happening. Maybe we would tell people that the big one's coming and there's no possible way you guys can go to the polls. You can't have an election. We're about to face Armageddon. It's worse than the asteroid hitting. You're going to have to stay in your houses because the air raid signs are going to go off. Sorry, we're going to have to postpone the elections till we tamp down this threat that may or may not exist. So you're going to take my money, you're going to tax me up to Yahoo, people are filing bankruptcy, and now we have a nuclear threat across the country. I would love to see those orders. Tell me how you're supposed to prepare for nuclear war. Dig a ditch, put some food in the ditch, pour some concrete. Tell us all how you're supposed to prepare. I gotta hear some of these comments. What about a reverse mortgage? Reverse mortgage, you're talking about the other thing. Their best shot is to get Trump behind bars before November 24th. You can prepare this way. Pray that God will give you daily grace. It gets even more evil. These people are out of their freaking mind. And I asked the wife, I said, Rob, should I say this tonight? Are they going to think I'm a cook? She goes, no, you got all the backup. You got all the information. None of it's made up. You can choose to not believe it. You can choose to say it's never going to happen. That doesn't mean they're not going to do it. He told you to prepare for nuclear war. There's nothing for you to prepare in finding out that 1 million jobs were faked over the last couple of months. They did it. There's nothing for you to buy into when everybody knows they lost 2-point-something trillion dollars. Just can't find it. Everybody knows they've lost 200,000 kids. Not making it up. Go look it up. Where does 200,000 kids go? They didn't vanish. Aliens didn't take them. I don't think so. Not making it up. Just letting you know. We've given $80 billion to this guy over there, fighting Putin. How come he's not under threat of nuclear war? Don't know. But I know we gave him like $80 billion. I know we left a gazillion dollars over in Afghanistan and they're having parades with our equipment. Not making it up. I'm looking at it. And then the other stuff, she's actually telling you, I'm going to raise your taxes. I'm going to take as much money as I possibly can, and I'm going to give it to some other people. So everything I've told you tonight is 100% verifiable. You can go look it up. You can't say, Barry, you made it up, and this isn't true. The elite will just go down to their bunkers. Remember seeing something where they said, out in Colorado or something, they built an entire survival area where way under the ground they brought in food and seeds and all kinds of stuff. You think they've been planning this for a while? I think so. I am 76 on Social Security. The tax would cost me $12,000. Start doing the math yourself. Absolutely. Hit me with your best shots, Kamala saying. And the thing is, trust in the Lord. That's the best thing. Barry, the only thing you're missing is total censorship. Oh, yeah, that's coming. If she gets in, you can bet your butt that would be coming. All right, so now that's all the bad news I have for you. Now I've got the good news. And I like leaving you with good news and hope. All that stuff I said is true. You can go look it up and verify it. It's all out there. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. Get ready. Something big is happening. She's not going to win, which means something bigger is going to happen. She can't win. And now we have the forces that are truly aligning against her to say that everything we're seeing, we have to stop and save the American people. And those people that are preparing to save the United States from true communism at this point are Elon Musk, of course Donald Trump, And now we're finding out that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is jumping into the mix. This has been reported by CNN. Donald Trump says he would be open to RFK Jr. playing a role in his administration if the independent candidate drops out and endorses him. So depending on which poll you look at right now, Kennedy's got maybe anywhere between 4 and 9%. Certain places he got more support. Certain places where he wasn't able to get on the ballot, but he still has that support. They are going to lose their crap. You're going to see the media go after RFK Jr. like you've never seen them go after anybody. They know if RFK Jr. and Trump align, there is no possible way she can win. It's over the day they come out on a podium together. They walk out and make the statement, game over. Right there. She can't make up that thing, that difference. It's over. So the fact that they're floating it out there, and then earlier I showed you the video with his vice presidential candidate saying, you know, we've got some things to think about. Basically, it's money-based. And I think she was floating a number out there. Notice she went out. I don't know if you saw the video. Look at my earlier one from 2:30, whenever it was. And she said, you know, we're trying to figure out what we want to do. If we stay in the race, we could get like $13 or $14 million because we could get matching funds. But if we leave, we can help Trump save America. When I saw it, I didn't tell you guys earlier, but I went, okay, there's a price tag. That's the price tag. You want my support? It's going to cost $15 million. Trump's like, how do you want that in 20s? Hundreds? Let me know. How do we need to just do a wire? That's what you're looking for? 13, 15 million? Done. Now, of course, there's different ways they're going to have to do that, but done. Jump in my camp here. If you need 15 million to basically figure out what you're going to do in 2028, done. Here's 15 million. We'll figure out how we get it to you. It's over. If that was her signaling to the Trump campaign, hey, listen, you know, we're thinking about, and if you saw the video, you would be cracking up because that's pretty much what she did. Like, well, if we're thinking about it, and if we do head and leave, you know, it's going to cost us like 13 million. But then again, if we join forces with Trump, yeah, we could probably save the whole world, and that's what we're really thinking about right now. And Trump, as that came out, Trump was making his speech outside of Detroit today, and I'm sure people he went off stage. They're like, you're not going to believe this. RFK Jr. just said he's in. What's he want? He wants 15 million. Cut the friggin' check. Get him on board. Make him Attorney General. Make him Director of the EPA. Do whatever you want. At this point, work out your differences over here. Get rid of Kamala. Take her out. She's done. It's over. That's why I'm worried about what are they going to do come, October surprise. Because if he gets into the Trump campaign, if this actually happens, if Trump has now signaled back to him, signal intelligence, SIGINT, if Trump is signaling back to him, you're in, bro. I gotcha. Donald Trump says he would be open to RFK Jr. playing a role in his administration if you drop out and endorse him. So what you just saw play out today was a negotiation. Straight up. I might stay, I might leave. If I stay, I get this much. If I go, what do we get? And I'm sure the negotiation is being discussed. Trump's probably on a plane back from Michigan or on his way out to the next one, and they're talking. And I would not be surprised if before the weekend they walk out to a podium together and talk about it. It would be completely awesome. So what do you guys think about RFK? Make RFK in charge of freedom of information disclosure. Their street morals is we told you you're stupid, so we're survival of the fittest, even worse, the nihilist. They believe their Satan is like a phoenix, and little phoenix rise from the ashes. Yeah. Let's see here. Win-win for RFK. Yep, absolutely. He's still big. He's in good health, so he can probably run in 2028. Is that what came on after your last show? That's when I said I got something brewing. This is what I was talking about. Yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Tucker Carlson as well, or Trump comes out with his own October surprise. That would be the ultimate kick in the Democrats' balls. That's pretty funny. Barry, wake up. Dude, I couldn't be more awake. I'm trying to tell you to wake up. If you think this is some sort of hyperbole, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Let me know where you live so I can go ahead and make sure I'm ready to buy your house. So if you think this is fake, just go ahead. Don't worry about anything. Everything's going to be fine. Just do me a favor, DM me your address so I can just keep an eye on your house. I'll call you out like that. If you think this is fake, go ahead and put your money behind your mouth. Put your mouth behind, whatever, how they say that. Wow, your capital gains would be 71,000. Oof, that hurts. RFK in, that would be absolutely massive. Game over. All the little trolls in here would no Kamala, Mama Kamala. Yeah, you little troll bait commie. Exactly. Oh, God. Sometimes I wish I wasn't awake. I'd be up for RFK Jr. joining Trump, something related to medical, since he is up on that kind of stuff. Elon should do a 3-way spaces with... internet breaking. That was just internet breaking. But since you brought up that guy, and that's who I highlighted today, this is what happened with Elon. He's setting the stage here. He does a little poll here. And Elon has, with his massive audience, as you can see, 1.5 million people have voted in this online poll. Since a lot of you have asked, here goes a super unscientific poll. Who would you vote for? And he just put it up there. Boom. Boom. Out of 1.5 million votes, 78% of the people have said they would vote for Trump. Unscientific, but damn, that's a big, big, big number. And so this guy, I believe, is going to be the ace in the hole for the Trump campaign. They're probably still figuring out what he's going to end up doing. And at this point, people are suggesting the department that he will head up is the Department of Government Efficiency, named Doge, which is, part of his Dogecoin. And he's like, perfect name. 30 million people? Gotta like that. But then he posted this. Boom! I am willing to serve. There he is. He has just acknowledged that he's ready to basically take an office in Trump's administration. And Trump replied as well, if he's in, he's in. We'll go with Elon Musk. So somebody posted something, and this is just incredible. Can you imagine this cabinet? Trump plus J.D. Vance plus Elon Musk plus RFK plus Vivek, maybe Tucker. That is the deep state's worst nightmare. That is the good news I have for you, is that at this point, Trump and Elon and RFK Jr. seem to be coming together to save America. The force that these people can use to put this together would be undeniably unbeatable. Elon Musk controls the biggest open free speech platform in the world, where you've got other governments freaking out. They did a Spaces and they had 1 billion plus people get involved in this Spaces. Trump is back on Twitter, X. RFK, I don't even know how many followers he has, but RFK also has a huge amount of let me see if I can find it. That's a fan page. I don't know where his real page is. Let me see if this is it. Oh, no, that's not it. That's a fake page. But he's hugely popular. So you put those three men together, and Vivek, and Tucker, and once that nucleus is in place, which one piece is missing at this point. Elon's already confirmed. Elon and Trump have confirmed they are going to save America. And now watch the dominoes line up. You already know Vivek's in there. You already know that. So you know that Elon, Trump, and Vivek are already a team. Pretty much, you probably can assume Tucker's in there. Don't know what he would do, but he's in there. RFK Jr. gets in, game over. Absolute game over. Game, set, match. She can't win. That doesn't mean they can't do something, but it means she can't win. It's over. And as soon as those dominoes all come together, if RFK Jr. and Trump say, all right, we're going to endorse Trump, look for that in the next couple days. There's obviously some negotiation going on behind the scenes. It has to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to come out and say it's going to happen. You are going to see the two of them meet and announce that that RFK Jr. is endorsing him. And you're going to watch the little commie trolls lose their friggin' mind. There's no possible way she can win legally. It's over. It is a landslide. It's done when they announce that. She cannot beat that force of those people coming together. She doesn't have anybody. She doesn't have any policy. She knows nothing. She's got the media. So what? I bet in the next within the next month or so, you're going to see Elon have basically a platform on X where there's its own television network, where you won't even need to go to CNN or MSNBC or anywhere to get the news. He's going to be able to have the X person show, whether it be Tucker. Tucker already has his show on X. All these big name people who've got a right mind about them are aligning together to defeat this communistic BS. I love it. I absolutely love it. And any of your friends who think otherwise, just tell them this. That is your only choice. There is no, especially if RFK Jr. gets out, it is quite binary. Even though they like to say non-binary, that becomes quite binary. Communism or Trump. Make your choice. Make your choice. Tell us that's what you want. You want to be a commie? That's fine. We'll get you a boat trip to Cuba. You'll love it there. You'll absolutely love it. But it's over when these two guys make that announcement. I don't care what anybody in troll says in here. It's done. Landslide. Over. Now we just have to survive it. Now we just have to make sure they don't do something absolutely crazy. Now we have to make sure that they don't go off the rails, because that is a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Let's see here. That was good news. I hope it works. It will work. It will work. It will happen. That wasn't an announcement that was done without knowing what you're going to do. That was a signal. As I said, SIGINT. That was some intelligence. They were lobbing it out there, letting everybody know this is going to happen. And we want to see number one, they want to see what their people think about it. They want to get the lay of the land so that when he negotiates with Trump, they already know where things are headed. That's where it gets. Trolls get lost. You're not getting paid enough. Tulsi Gabbard, I'm pretty sure she'll be in there as well. She's been helping Trump with the debate, so I'm sure she's getting him ready. I'm sure she'll have some sort of role for sure. They're going to try. They're definitely going to try, but God is in charge. This was the best show ever. Thank you very much. I really wanted to make sure that I laid it out so you had all this information. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers.
Come on,
hit the like
show
button,
some love.
do all this
click
stuff.
that like
and,
button.
Let people know, man. On the 18th, Trump is going to Rikers for a year. That's what they're saying. After the Democrats already have documents written up to remove Trump from the White House if he wins. Hope not. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I don't know if you guys, I went over it a couple days ago, the letter that Alvin Bragg sent to Judge Merchan. Judge Merchan will be ending his career if he does that, and he may have to do it to basically save his daughter. And I'm sure the Democrats do have something drawn up to try and remove Trump as soon as possible to, if he does get in. Sure, they're going to try everything and anything. But the force they will meet, the force will be so significantly stronger than it's ever been. It's going to be very hard for them. I believe you'll even see some of the media fall in line. It's too big. Talk about too big to rig. Elon, RFK Jr., it's way too big. If Trump goes to prison, there will indeed be a civil war. That cabinet would be too big to rig. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you very much. Now, what I want you to do, yes, Alvin Bragg punted to the courts. He's like, yeah, do what you want to do. I'm out. Only thing I want you to do, I'm going to have, hey, Francis, how you doing? If you roll over a 401k immunity to gold, would you still pay capital gains on that too? I'm going to have Kevin, the CEO of Lear Capital, on for a show because I think it's important that people start planning. Whether or not you go with Lear or anybody else, you need to know what to do at this point. My objective here is to get you to begin looking. Give them a call. Again, where's the number here? I think I have a little banner I can pop up. Give them a call. Tell them I sent you, and just say, hey, listen, what happens if I roll over? I'm not the expert here. You can give them a call right there. 800-601-5430. They are a strong supporter of this show as well. I also buy gold with them. So I shouldn't be saying this on open air, but yes. Wink, wink. Yeah, they're just a sponsor. That's all they do. They're just, I'm not involved with them. I never understood the Stormy Daniels thing. I thought the person taking a bribe was guilty. Has she returned the money? No, she owes him, what, $600,000? Belinda says this was the worst show and the best show ever. Now, do something with this information. I am not going to be the bearer of bad news and just tell you don't do anything. You now have some information. Go look yourself. Go look up what unrealized capital gains is. In fact, I thought I showed you enough, but understand this is horrible. It's basically taxing you on money you don't have. It's legalized theft. They're stealing from you. Straight up. No other explanation. How they can say you have unrealized capital gains. Unbelievable. Yes, 600,000. Yeah, exactly. That's what she owes him. Virginia, New Mexico, New Jersey, gonna go to Trump. I'm predicting it. Andrew, you may be right. Last thing I saw, because Virginia doesn't do a lot of polling, but the last thing that came out was that Virginia is within the margin of error. I'm telling you, the more people hear about this, the more sane people hear about this and go, you want to do what? There's a lot of wealthy people in Virginia who don't work for the government. There's a lot of wealthy people in Virginia who do work for the government, who have bought houses for $500,000 and $600,000 that are worth $1 and $2 million right now. Imagine that. Imagine you were successful. And you bought a house, 6 or 7 years ago, and you paid $500,000 for it, and now that house is worth $2 million. Happens all the time down here in South Florida. There are people who are sitting; they call them house rich. There are people who have had houses for 15 and 20 years that they paid $200,000 and $300,000, and those houses are now worth $1 million, $1.2 million, and they've got $900,000 in equity. And you're going to have to write a check for 25% of that to the government because you're sitting on an asset? Hey, I'm sorry. I understand you got $1 million in equity, but I'm going to need a check for $250,000, please. What? I don't have $250,000. Oh, you do. You just don't realize it. How many people are going to be in trouble? How many people right now who are even Democrats are going to go, let me hold my nose and just vote for this Trump guy? Orange man bad sucks, but you know what? Now you're trying to hit my pocketbook, Kamala. I can't be doing that. I went to your rally. Yeah, woo, go get it, K-girl. Yeah. And then you come home and start reading about this stuff. And, one of you guys tells a friend, and another one tells a friend. Like, have you heard about this this capital gains thing she wants to do? Some of you who are younger, hey, call your parents. Ask them how much equity they're sitting on their house. They'll know. Call your grandmother. Call people and say, hey, what kind of equity are you sitting on that house? Oh, I'm probably sitting about $300,000 equity. Well, you got $65,000, $75,000 in cash too? No. You're now a Trump supporter. That's all it's going to take. First, they're going to tell you you're out of your mind. Then they're going to tell you, I don't believe you, you're lying. And then you're going to send them an article from the Wall Street Journal or wherever else saying, yeah, unrealized capital gains, you're going to have to pay 25% under Kamala Harris's ideas. That's the quickest way to turn somebody into a Trump supporter. Hey, you're at the the water cooler at work. Hey, so how you doing, Fred? Yeah. Hey, you guys bought that house over on X Street a couple years ago. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw you fixed it up, and it looks really nice. You guys must be sitting on a lot of equity. Yeah, they tell us it's worth about $900,000, and you only paid like $4. Yeah. Guess what? You got to write a check to Kamala for $100,000. And then watch the blood run out of their face. After they tell you F off, you're lying to me. I got this document right here for you. Hey, here's the definition of unrealized capital gains, and this is Kamala's plan. Make sure you tell people you will watch them turn into Trump supporters in front of your eyes. People may have a affiliation with one party or the other, but there's one party that they all want to follow. And that's the Green Party. Not the new green, the old green. Money. Money is more important to Democrat and Republican. Money. I'm okay with, some of this stuff. I'm okay paying a little bit more income tax. Okay, want to help out, want to chip in. But what? You want to take 25% of my equity that I don't even have? Yes. Tell some people that. Watch them become, and then just say, welcome to the Republican Party. Or rather, welcome to MAGA. Let me shake your hand. Because now I know you can't possibly vote for this woman. You're going to bankrupt your family. You must care about your family more than you hate Trump, right? Earlier I read this list from Glenn Beck, and it was all these things why people are going to vote for Kamala, because they hate Trump. They hate Trump more than they hate this. They hate Trump more than they hate that. Well, that last line is a no-brainer. They're not going to jump over that. You hate Trump more than you want to keep your wealth, your money. Whoa, hey. You're telling me in order for me to prove that I hate Trump, I got to give you 25% of my equity. Yes. Go F yourself. As Elon, I wish I had that right now. I'd play. I'm going to have to put that on a loop and have it on one of my buttons. The Elon thing where he goes, "You're gonna tell me about money? Go F yourself." If you haven't seen that, that's fantastic. I'll have to bleep it out, but you'll get the gist of what he's saying there. Hold on. But they love money more than they hate Trump. Exactly. Thanks for the hope, Barry. Save the best for last. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody wrote here, and it's not just on real estate. All things, everything. Somebody says, no, what's that say? And it's not just on real estate. All things with unrealized capital gains, coin collection, car collection, baseball card collection, any collection, stamps, everything. Is it worth more than what you paid for it? Yeah, that's capital gains. Touchdown USC says unrecognized gain is not an equity tax. It is a tax on untaxed profit. Well, that's what equity is. If you owe $200 and it's worth $500, that $300,000 is basically unrealized capital gains. You can have $300,000, but it's not profit until you sell. So you're actually wrong there. Understand the math here, because there's some people who don't understand. If you have a $500,000 house, I'm going to use easy math. If you have a $500,000 house and you have a $200,000 mortgage, you have $300,000 in equity. That is not profit. It would not be profit until you sold it. So if you sold that house for $500,000, that $300,000 would then be profit. You get that? I'll go slower. If you have a house that's worth $500,000, you have a mortgage that's worth $200,000, or that's what you owe. That's a $300,000 cushion, give or take taxes and expenses. You sell that house, you put $300,000 in your pocket. That's a profit only when it's realized. Equity is specifically what unrealized capital gains is. This touchdown, you're wrong. Unrecognized, not even say unrecognized, it's unrealized. So you've got your terms all mixed up. Unrealized capital gains are monies that you have not realized yet. You don't have it. Is everybody straight with that? Because this guy's got it wrong, completely wrong. I've been in real estate for 30 years. I understand this completely. Capital gains is a big thing. Unrealized capital gains means you're sitting on that equity. You have not turned a profit with it yet. There's no profit that has been taken. It's sitting, you're living in it. You haven't sold it. When you sell it, that's a profit. So there's a lot of people who don't understand the economics of even something as simple as unrealized capital gains. What Mr. Touchdown said here is completely wrong. Is anyone happy now? Are you better off than you 4 years ago? If it's insured or it's on your tax return, they'll find it. Not only that, they can just go to public records. If you haven't I don't want to get too deep here. If you haven't shielded your asset, so I'm getting in the weeds here. If you're John Smith and you own a house and it's in John Smith's name, anybody can look it up. Yeah, John Smith on Elm Street. And oh, there's John's house. Oh, here's what he paid for it. Oh, you got equity. See, John hasn't protected his asset. He's done nothing to veil his assets. See, John should have, like most of you should, hold that property in an LLC. Not to get too deep here. 123 Elm Street LLC. And then there's different things you do behind that to make sure you're basically cloaked so nobody can sue you. Initially, that was a strategy, especially up north and down here as well, is if you have that equity and you don't want to get sued because let's say somebody's riding their bike and they fall down and, oh, we're going to sue you now. Well, they're going to have to sue this LLC because they're not going to sue Barry Cunningham. They're going to sue an LLC, and then good luck, figuring out the assets base of the LLC and what you have to do. You see, because here's one tip for you. Well, no, I better not do it. I might get myself in trouble. But there's a way to avoid that. And the problem that we're going to see is that there are rich people who understand how to shield their assets. That's something else you might want to look up. Shielding assets through an LLC. Begin making your preparations now. Sell your house to your LLC so you don't own it. Do different things like that. Do a subordinate mortgage. There's so many things you can do. A subordinate mortgage is if you owe $200,000 and you say, you know what, I'm going to take out a subordinate mortgage of $300,000. Now I don't have any equity. Well, who'd you get the mortgage from? 123 Elm Street LLC. That didn't cost you anything. That was free. I'm gonna let you dwell on that for the evening. But get ready. Get ready to move how many assets you may have into different cloaked LLCs and corporations and trusts and whatever you need to do. Talk to your lawyer, find a lawyer and say, how do I shield my assets? Do I put it in an LLC? Can I put it in a holding company? Do I put it in a trust? To make sure that you're not basically naked out there for anyone to look up how much equity you have. Because right now there are all kinds of different programs and algorithms where you can put in a neighborhood and say, listen, show me the houses in a 2-mile area that have the most equity. can do it right now. I have a program. I can show me in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zip code of all houses that have more than $200,000 equity. And this thing will go out and it'll sniff through the public records and it'll find out who's got a mortgage and who doesn't and what the value of the property is. It takes me about 30 seconds and I'll have a report in any zip code and like, all these houses here have more than $200,000 in equity. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do that stuff. I do that stuff to make money. I can find basically any property anywhere that's stripped or has available or now has unrealized capital gains. So the scary part about that is if I can do it, and if there's other kind of programs out there that can do that, there's tons of them, then the government can do it. The government can find that property. They know what you owe. It'll be too late in November. Way too late. Proud American patriot. Yeah, we all need to be. Drill, baby, drill. Do what you need to do. Is homesteading the same as an LLC? No, homesteading is basically based upon the state. So here in South Florida, there's no income tax, but we pay real estate taxes. But if it's your home and you homestead it, you lock in at a certain rate the entire time you live there. So once you buy your house and you move in, and you've been there for 6 months, whatever, you go ahead and homestead, and you're locking in your property taxes no matter how long you're at the property. Homesteading. Perfect. Absolutely. I just answered that about homesteading. It's a little bit different, but yeah. That lineup would be an unstoppable team for sure. Train to Stomp will really happy. The United States would have a chance to make up for all the harm the demon rats have done. Absolutely. And all this stuff here that I've been telling you, they know it. Chuck Schumer has all kinds of property. Hillary Clinton has all kinds of property. I guarantee you, if you look in whatever she lives in, Chappaqua, New York, and search in Bill and Hillary Clinton, you're not going to find that many properties, if any, with their name on it. You may see Clinton Family Trust. You may see Clinton Land Holdings LLC, but you're not going to see much with Bill and Hillary Clinton on it. Ain't going to happen. The rich people and people who also who know what they're doing understand, and that's a good reason why they may not be freaking out, because we're set. We're all prepared. We know how to play the game. That's why when she says, and when Joe had said they weren't coming after the middle class, that's BS. The middle class are the ones who have tried to do things the right way and bought a house and a mortgage and they have it in their personal name and they've got insurance and different things, and it's all public record. Everything is public record. Everybody can see it. You've seen this thing from LifeLock where they had that insurance that nobody could run your credit or whatever, and now they've got this new thing called Title Lock. It's because it's all out there. You cannot buy a house today unless you live in some country, rural area that's not on the computer. But if they once they record your deed, it's on the interwebs. It's out there. Everybody can see it. All the documents associated, the easement with the power company. Where's the easement? Okay, so I can know that your survey, I can see exactly what property lines are and what could I do with it. I can check your zoning, all from right here. Put it in. Somebody calls me and they say, listen, can you give me an offer on this property? I can do a workup in about 6 minutes and tell you everything about that property, often more than you even know yourself. Sometimes people don't know there's liens. Some people don't know their easements. Some people don't know that the city has basically put a lien on the property. And then they find out and they're like, well, it's been there for 4 years. It's running at about... There's people here who have swimming pools that didn't keep them clean and they had mosquitoes and stuff, and the city will just go ahead and file a lien. A lien, they call it a non-compliance, and it runs a fine of like $100 a day. And then when people go to sell their houses, they owe like $40,000 to the bank, to the city, and they don't know what happened. Yeah, you didn't clean your pool, and they fined you. So understand this, man. Please check my super chats. Let me go to that right now. I sometimes get into this stuff and start talking too much, yada yada yada. Let me go there and say thank you to all of you who have done so. Let me click this button because I have to go back to a different screen to do that. All right, so let me go ahead and just acknowledge all of this. Ooh, wow, people. Damn, you're going to put me in a different income tax bracket. Thank you, Howdy Doody. Big Cat, you're always here. Thank you, sir. Black and Yellow Flash, very much. Thank you, John Zeller. Kenda Schroeds. Miko Rod. 800 Pineapple Queen with the big $50 donation. Thank you very much. She says, continue praising our mighty God. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Thank you very much for those blessings. Don't forget, Thursday night, we're doing the prayer meeting. It's not for everybody. Those of you who were here last time, I was overwhelmed with Pastor JJ. We had like 18,000 people show up for a prayer night. Loved it. Thank you, Ryan. Stephen Morris. Ryan again. Thank you twice there. Yvonne Berger. You're awesome. Priscilla Vivo. Thank you. Tommy Rad. Buzzy. Buzzy jumped in. Jay Papa. Mega Dream Team. Sharon Neiswanger. Thank you very much. Mountain Goddess. Bear, I just wanted to thank you for explaining the terms so many of us laymen can understand and most appreciated. Thank you to Gary Moore. I think that's pretty much all of them. I just want to thank all you guys for tuning in. But do me a favor, like I said, don't take anything I say as gospel. Go look it up. Do your homework. Figure it out. Verify that she did say that. You'll see it everywhere. Again, you put unspecified capital gains out there, and you're gonna see it. It's everywhere. People are freaking. Some people are freaking. Some people are like, what do we do? And first thing you gotta do is educate yourself and understand whatever liability that you may be in to do something about it. Leon Combs, thank you very, very much. And who's this? Let me do this one here. Mike Patel. Mike Patel, thank you. You know what that means? People giving this kind of donations, Mike Patel, I'm gonna have to give it back. I'm gonna have to like the next. Let's see, the next rally. We'll see what we can do with some people. Some of you guys have gotten gift cards. It might be time for some gift cards at the next rally. Let me put that together again and. Let you guys deal with the taxes on your end. I'll just be, nice on my end and give it out. I know I have to change something because of YouTube rules, and you got to have rules that you acknowledge and all that kind of stuff. All right, so 9 o'clock, go ahead and watch this horror show, the DNC, or just spend some time with your wife, or do something better than that. Look up all this information and find out for yourself how bad this really is with this unrealized capital gains. It isn't profit. It's basically taxing you on stuff that you haven't even put in your pocket yet. Talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you for tuning in. Awesome. Glad you guys liked it.